Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Nur Azra binti Azman. My matric number is D202311055558 and I'm currently on my second year in degree in teaching English as second language. So, welcome to my e-portfolio. This is my e-portfolio where I made it on Wix, and my e-portfolio consists of two parts. The first one is about the understanding of secondary English language curriculum, and the second one with a few understanding of concepts that we will go through later. So, let's just dive into the secondary English language curriculum. So, what is it? It is actually a plan that is designed to help students to improve their English skills in their classrooms. It is structured, it's clear, and also follows the international standards called CEFR to ensure students to meet the specific language learning goals. So the curriculum is built around four main skills. As you can see here, it's called listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So the curriculum also emphasizes grammar and vocabulary. So it's about learning proper sentence structures and new words, helps the students speak and write more accurately and also fluently. And another important part is critical thinking. Students are encouraged to understand, analyze, and also share their opinions about what they read and hear. So this helps them to think logically and also express their ideas clearly. And finally, the curriculum also includes 21st century skills like using technology and working with others. So it prepares students to communicate in today's digital and also multicultural world, helping them to succeed in school and beyond. So basically, this curriculum isn't just about learning English, but it's also about preparing students for the future by building strong language skills, improving their thinking abilities, and also learning to work in today's global world. So we are basically helping them to achieve their best. So let's just now dive deeper into the framework that supports this curriculum. So the first one, as you can see here, the SBELC, or we call it Standard-Based English Language Curriculum, focuses on the same four core skills, which are listening, speaking, reading, and also writing. But it goes a step further by incorporating higher order thinking skills, or we call it HOTS. So these are advanced thinking skills based on revised Bloom's taxonomy, which encourages students to apply what they've learned in real-life situations, analyze information critically, evaluate ideas, and make logical decisions, and also create something new using their knowledge and skills. So this approach helps students not only to learn English, but also develop problem solving, creativity, which are essential in today's world. So this curriculum also aligns with the CEFR, or we call it Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, which is an international standard for measuring language skills. In Malaysia, this alignment is part of the education blueprint. So, for example, for the lower secondary, Form 1 until Form 3, the students are expected to achieve around A2 or B1 level. And for the upper secondary, we help them to reach the level B1 or B2. So moving on to the next crucial part or crucial element of learning, which is motivation. So motivation is all about what drives students to engage with their lessons and continue to learn. So without it, even the best curriculum or teacher or teaching methods can fall short. So there are two main types of motivation. As you can see here, it's intrinsic motivation and also extrinsic motivation. So intrinsic motivation it comes from the student. This type of motivation is from within the students. It's when they feel a personal sense of satisfaction or enjoyment in learning. Students might be curious about the language, eager to explore it out of their own interest, or find that learning aligns with their personal goals, for example. So intrinsic motivation often leads to deeper engagement and also long-term learning because students generally want to learn. On the other hand, as extrinsic motivation, it actually comes from external factors like getting rewards or getting good grades or under pressure to succeed. For example, a student might study hard to pass on an exam or to get a certificate. That's what we call as extrinsic motivation. But why are they important? Okay, for intrinsic motivation, it has sustained effort and persistence. The students are motivated and more likely to keep working even when the material gets tough. This is especially true for intrinsic motivation, where curiosity and personal satisfaction drive them to stick with the process. The second one is deeper engagement, when the students are motivated and they become more involved in lessons and activities. And the third one is better retention of knowledge. Motivation improves focus and also helps students to remember what they've learned. For example, a student who finds joy in reading is likely to remember new words better, while someone motivated by a test deadline will study hard to ensure they retain the material. So that's the difference. So for the extrinsic motivation, the first one we can see, it says initial engagement. So that could be helpful at the start of the learning process for someone who has extrinsic motivation, because rewards, grades, or encouragement can help the student to take that as their first step. And once they begin and see the results, intrinsic motivation often takes over, encouraging them to keep going. The second one is goal achievement and also structured progress. So motivation keeps students focused on their goals, whether it's passing a test or improving their speaking skills or achieving fluency. A motivated student is more likely to stay on track and meet their objective. Extrinsic factors often provide structure, while extrinsic motivation gives them the drive to go further. Okay, so the next one is time to explore the learner's style, which describe how individuals approach learning tasks. The image here highlights two types of students that we might face, which are field dependence and also field independence, each with their own distinct preferences, strengths, and also challenges. So let's look at field dependence first. It's about learners who are field dependent, rely heavily on the whole picture and also context to understand information. They prefer group work and thrive in social environments where interaction and also collaboration are emphasized. Their key strength is understanding relationships and grasping big ideas, making them excellent at tasks that require seeing how concepts are interconnected. But however, their weakness lies in struggling with details. They may find it difficult to focus on specific parts of a task or problem. These learners perform best with group activities such as discussions, brainstorming, or project-based tasks where the context is clear and shared. So for field independence, on the other hand, the learners focus on specific details and prefer to work independently, often ignoring the broader surrounding context. Their strength lies in their ability to analyze details and also solving problems, making them ideal for tasks like puzzles, grammar exercise, or any activity requiring precision. So, however, field independent learners may struggle with seeing the big picture, which can limit their ability to understand how individual details fit into a larger framework. So their preferred tasks are solo activities that involve critical thinking or problem solving. So the next one, let's go to ambiguity tolerance. It's all about how comfortable someone feels when they don't have all the answers or when things aren't clear. So some people are okay with this uncertainty, while others find it frustrating or stressful. In learning, this plays a very big role in how we approach challenges and tasks. So there are two types of learners, which are high and also low ambiguity tolerance. So let's start with the high ambiguity tolerance. So they actually embrace uncertainty. They don't need everything to be perfectly clear before they start working. They are also willing to take risk and try new things, even if they might fail. And they also don't worry too much about making mistakes because they see them as a part of the learning process. So these learners are often open to experimenting and also enjoy figuring things out as they go. But for the low ambiguity tolerance learners, they might feel anxious or frustrated when things are unclear or when they don't have a step-by-step instructions. They prefer a structured lesson with clear rules, detailed instructions, and also predictable outcomes because they want to avoid making mistakes, and they might avoid situations that feel too risky or open-ended. For example, if you give these learners a task without clear guidance, they might struggle or feel stuck. They do better in environments where expectations are clear and everything is explained in detail. So that's the difference. So the next one, let's move on to reflective and also impulsivity. So people who are reflective take their time to think carefully before they act or make a decision. Reflective learners, they pause to analyze problems and think about possible outcomes. They make fewer mistakes because they spend their time planning properly. But they might take longer to complete tasks because they focus on accuracy over speed. For example, a reflective learner, they will double check every step to make sure their answer is correct. Their strength lies in their ability to produce high quality, accurate work even if it takes extra time. So for impulsivity learners, now they act quickly and often rely on their intuition or their first impression. So they respond without much prior thought or analysis. Often they prioritize speed over accuracy, which can sometimes lead to more mistakes than people who learn in reflectivity way. However, their quick thinking makes them confident and adaptable in fast-paced situations. So an impulsive learner might jump straight into solving a problem without fully understanding the instructions. They may finish faster, but might also need to go back and fix some mistakes. But their strength is in their ability to think on their feet and make decisions under pressure. So the strengths of both approaches. So reflective learners are great for tasks that require careful planning and also problem solving and attention to detail because they thrive in situations where accuracy matters more than speed. And impulsive learner, on the other hand, they excel in dynamic environments where decisions need to be made quickly. They are often better at improvising and handling unexpected changes. So let's move on to the next learner style. We call these four main elements, which are visuals, auditory, kinesthetic, read and write. As we can see, we can already predict what they mean. Visuals, the learners who prefer images, they learn through what they see. Auditory, they learn through what they hear. Kinesthetic, they learn through what they do. And read and write, they learn through on what they write and also what they read. So moving on to the next one, the learner's strategies. So I've got three here. The first one is metacognitive strategy. So metacognitive strategy, it's about setting goals for learning. For example, a student might decide to improve their skills within a month. So they will determining the steps or methods to achieve these goals. This could mean creating a study schedule or using specific resources like practice book or online tools. Another example is like identifying difficulties or areas that need improvement. So the next one is cognitive strategy. The second strategy, which is tied to specific learning tasks like reading, writing, or solving problems. This strategy actually focuses on actively interacting with the material, for example, summarizing a passage in your own words or solving practice problems to understand a concept better. And the third one is social affective strategy, the third one, so which involve using a social interaction and also emotional management to enhance learning. This includes interacting with others to improve understanding or practice skills. For instance, participating in group discussion, practicing a new language with friends, or asking a teacher to for clarification. So these are the three learner strategies that I've included here. So then the next one, we can move on to ESL teaching approaches. Okay, so the first one we have is behaviorism. It's actually based on the idea that learning is shaped by external factors, things in the environment that influence our actions. It's a psychological theory of learning that focuses on observable behaviors rather than internal thoughts or feelings. According to this approach, learners acquire language by forming connection between stimuli, things they see or hear, and responses, their actions or reactions. For example, when teaching vocabulary, a teacher might use repetition and rewards. So that's more to behaviorism. And the next one is innatism. Innatist offers a different perspective. This theory suggests that humans are born with a natural ability to learn language. Innatists also believe that humans have an innate mechanism for language learning, often referred to as the language acquisition device, LAD. This mechanism allows us to understand and produce language even with limited exposure. For example, think about how young children learn to speak. Even without formal lessons, they pick up grammar and vocabulary simply by being exposed to the language in their environment. So that's what it means by innatist. The second one is constructivism. This theory sees learning as an active and also personal process. Instead of simply receiving information, learners take an active role in constructing their own understanding. It's like building a bridge between what you already know and the new information you are trying to learn. So that is constructivism. It also highlights the importance of collaboration and also interaction, working with others. So moving on to cognitivism. This theory focuses on the mental processes involved in learning. It's all about what happens inside our brains when we learn new things. And cognitivism explores concepts like attention, memory, problem solving, and also thinking. It also shows us how we can make learning more efficient. So that's about cognitivism. So lastly, we are at Kagan Cooperative Learning Strategies. Basically, the core idea behind Kagan strategies is learning is enhanced when students work together. That's the main idea. So these strategies focus on ensuring that every student in the class has an equal opportunity to participate, learn, and contribute. They also emphasize positive interdependence, meaning students learn to rely on each other in a way that strengthens their collaboration skill. So I think that is all, and these are the citations that I've put here from my research. Thank you so much for listening.